Good day, everyone. Welcome to our English writing class. I am Teacher Ann, and I'll be your teacher for today. For today's class discussion, we will be learning about how is paper made. Are you ready? Now let's get started. First, I want to ask you, how important is paper? Paper has been very important to us since we use it everywhere. It has been part of our everyday lives and we use it every time. Now, how many different types of paper can you think of? Looking at the picture shown, some of the examples would be notebook, writing paper, canvas paper, parcel boxes, and other examples would be newspaper, magazines, toilet papers, and others. Can you name different materials that paper is made of? Let's see if your idea is correct in the next presentation. Before we answer that question, let's read first the history of paper. The word paper came from the word papyrus, ancient Greek for the cyperus papyrus plant. Papyrus is a thick paper-like material produced from this plant, which was used in ancient Egypt and other Mediterranean societies for writing long before paper was used in China. The first paper-making process was documented in China during the Eastern Han period between 25 to 220 AD. During the 8th century, Chinese paper making spread to the Islamic world, where pulp mills and paper mills were used for paper making and money making. By the 11th century, paper making was brought to Europe. By the 13th century, paper making was refined with paper mills utilizing water wheels in Spain. Later, European improvements to the paper-making process came in the 19th century with the invention of wood-based paper. So to answer my previous question on what different materials are used for making paper, we can actually make paper out of wood pulp, rice, water plants, cotton, clothes, and bamboos. Now you know. Now we know the different raw materials used for making paper. In this video, I will be showing you the paper making process using trees as the raw material since it is the most common source used. While watching the video, please don't forget to take down notes. So first, trees are being cut down from the plantation. The trees are then brought to a factory. It is where the bark of the trees are being removed. Then they are cut to small wood chips. The wood chips are mixed with water and cooked into a paste. The paste is then bleached and other chemicals are added to give the finished paper more strength. The paste is flattened and the water is squeezed out. Then the flattened paste is dried out and becomes paper. The strips of paper are cut into smaller sheets. So don't forget, in everything we should always recycle. So to sum it up, the paper making process involves 3 stages. First is the cutting stage, then the cooking stage, then the pulping stage. In the cutting stage, it is where trees are cut down from plantation. Then they are chipped into pieces. Next is the cooking stage, where the paste is bleached and other chemicals are added. Lastly, in the pulping stage, it is where the water is squeezed from the mixture and the mixture is being flattened. And finally, it is cut into thin sheets of paper. After knowing the history of paper, the raw materials used for making it, and the paper making process, let's make an idea sketch to gather our ideas. First, for raw materials, other than trees, we can also use rice, wet plants, cotton, and others. In its history, paper originated in China, in Egypt, and in Islamic world. In the paper making process, it involves 3 steps. First, cut a tree. Second is cook the mixture. And lastly, pulping. Very good. Lastly, we use paper in the form of newspaper, notebook, tissue paper, and so many more. That would be all for today's lesson on how is paper made. I hope you learned something from our discussion. This has been Teacher Anne. Thank you and have a good day.